A hearty good afternoon and welcome to a session on breastfeeding nutrition, weaning diet, and the weaning diet. We are glad to have Dr. How do I say your name?
Ginny Kalra.
Dr. Ginni Kalra among us today to help us understand the topic. Breast milk is an excellent source of nutrition for the body, and it helps build a stronger immune system and have a nearly perfect. It has a nearly perfect mix of vitamins, proteins, minerals, and fats. But around 6 months, your baby should be introduced to solid foods as well, alongside breast milk, and it helps in it helps in getting your child accustomed to new tastes, new textures, and helps the child in their balanced diet journey. So let's learn more from the doctor as we go. Doctor, you have the stage.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Ginny Kalra. I'm Senior Clinical Dietitian at Apollo Cradle, Moti Nagar. So today we are celebrating the nutritional month. Uh, as it's going on nutritional month, September is a nutritional month. So we are here to educate you regarding the diet. And once it will start good at good note, it will be easy to help you out in the future for your baby. So, in today's session, we are discussing about breastfeeding nutrition. So, we all know about that breastfeeding is important, but how it is important and how it's helping your baby, we are learning about that. And after that, how to start with the weaning and how you can help your baby to start with the food which we are eating, how to introduce that, and how you can make your baby comfortable with the home food or the weaning food, which will help in the growth and development, overall growth and development of your child. So let's start with the session. So as we all know that breastfeeding is very very important for your baby, and it's an ideal nutrition for the babies, as you all know that. So there are few things which breastfeeding is helping your baby. So like breast milk contain each and every nutrition, whatever nutrition you just name for, it's available in the breastfeeding, except there is one nutrition which is vitamin D, which is lack in breastfeeding. So for that, the sun rays and other options are there through which you can balance with the baby's vitamin D level. Otherwise, all the nutrition whatever baby needs for the first 6 months of life is all in the right proportion, is present in the breast milk. Its composition even changes according to the baby's changing needs, especially during the first few months of life. So, during the first few days after birth, your breast produce a thick yellowish fluid called colostrum. So that colostrum is good in protein, low in sugar, and loaded with the beneficial compounds. So which will help your baby in getting proper maintain digestive system or immune system. So this colostrum is helping in that. Colostrum is the ideal first milk, helps the newborn immature digestive tract to develop. So that's why it's important for the baby. After the first few days, the breast start producing larger amount of milk as the baby's stomach grows in size. The only thing and nutrition that may lacking from breast milk supply is vitamin D. That's what I have already told you. So make sure that you should focus on the breastfeeding from the very first day. So if you will initiate breastfeeding within 24 hours of the delivery, that will really helpful to maintain a good amount of breastfeed for your baby. So now the breastfeeding is not just helping in the maintaining the nutrition, along with the maintaining the nutrition, and it also helping in the many other things, like it contains and loaded with antibodies, so that help your baby fight off viruses and bacteria, which is critical in those tender and early months. This is very very critical because the baby immune system is not developed, and so your antibodies which is present in the breast milk is helping your baby to form and fight against virus and bacteria. So colostrum provides high amount of immunoglobulin, that is a antibody, as well as several other antibodies along with IgG. So this protects the baby from getting sick by forming a protective layer in the baby's nose, throat, and digestive system. So these antibodies are making a protected layer all over the body parts to protect your baby from getting the easily catching infection. Breastfeeding may reduce the risks as well of some disease. So exclusive breastfeeding, meaning that infant who is getting only breastfeeding in particular is beneficial. It may reduce infants and babies' risk for many illness and diseases like ear infection, respiratory infection, cold and cough infections, gut infections, intestinal tissue damage, sudden infant death syndrome, allergies diseases like asthma, eczema, allergic bronchitis. So these are very common in children or in infants. So the breast milk is helping in these all these disease. Bowel disease like Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, which is very common in the later stage. If the baby is getting proper breastfeeding, so it's helping in that also. Diabetes, that is again very common disease which we are seeing nowadays. So it reduces the link of type 1 and type 2 diabetes if we are initiating breastfeeding from the very first day. It also helps in childhood leukemia. So breastfeeding overall not only helping during the first 6 months, it's helping throughout the life. Breastfeeding milk, breast milk promotes baby's healthy weight as well. So nowadays, weight is also one of the major concern we are seeing later in the life. So if you are giving your baby proper breastfeeding, it's helping in maintaining the good weight as well. So breastfeeding promotes healthy weight and gain and helps prevent childhood obesity. So if you are breastfeeding your baby, so you're not depending on the top formula or cerelac or other things which generally if you will make a dependency on those things can lead to childhood obesity. It have seen in few studies. So studies shows that breastfeeding for longer than 4 months had a significant reduction in the chances of a baby developing overnight obesity. So there are studies which are proving that if you are breastfeeding your baby, so there are less chances of getting obesity. This is due to the development of different gut bacteria which is present in the gut. Breastfed babies have higher amount of beneficial gut bacteria, which may affect fat storage, which may affect fat storage. Breastfeed babies also self-regulate their milk intake. So if the baby is breastfeeding, he or she herself knows about it, that how much and how much quantity they want to accept rather than including more of while they are consuming the other top feed and other feed. So it's better to give breastfeed to balance with the quantity and know how to and when to stop with the feeding or with the diet. They are better at eating only until they are satisfied their hunger. So they will not eat much if they are breastfed properly, which helps them develop healthy eating pattern in the later stage of the life. So the researchers clearly shows that the breastfeeding has significant positive effects on babies' long-term brain development. So breastfeeding is not just helping you in one or other ways; it's also helping in many other ways as well, and many other things as well. So breastfeeding and gut health. All again, breastfeeding is also helping in the gut health. The health of your gut, including the mix of bacteria, has been present in the gut, has been linked to many areas of health, from your mental state to your immune system to overall digestion. So breastfeeding is helping in that also. According to the studies, breastfeeding can influence this in a child right from the first year of the life. So if we are initiating breastfeeding early and we are continuing for more than 4 to 5 months, approximately 6 months, so it's helping the maintaining the good bacteria and maintaining the good gut functioning, which will help in the brain development as well. In fact, studies have shown that breastfeeding influences gut microbiota. That is a mix of good or bad bacteria which is present in the gut, helping to develop the child's immune system. Breastfeeding milk also have been shown to reduce gut inflammation in infants, which will create abdominal infection, keeping their system healthier. So, breastfeeding is helping in maintaining the gut bacteria and also maintaining the gut to balance with the immune system and to balance with the brain system. Breastfeeding and immune system, how it can help. So studies have shows that breast milk can reduce the risk of hospitalization for lower respiratory tract infections. So if the immunity is boosted up, so baby will not catch easily catching infection, which are cold, cough, respiratory infections. So that will reduce the hospital stay. It have seen that the respiratory infection, specifically lower respiratory infections, in the first year has been reduced to 72% if the baby is breastfed, and the risk of pneumonia goes down if mom breastfeed for longer than 6 months of age. So it's really very important that first 6 months breastfeeding should be given to the baby to balance with lifelong diseases, as is it's maintaining the good immune system. It also lowers the chances of the baby experiencing gastrointestinal tract infections, which are again very common during the infant years. If you are breastfeeding your baby, it also helps in balancing with the gastrointestinal tract infection. No matter how long you breastfeed, it has also been linked to reduce the chances of experiencing food allergies, asthma, celiac disease, inflammatory bowel syndrome, obesity, diabetes. These are really very common if the immune system will not developed up and not develop properly. So breastfeeding is helping in those things. So make sure that you should focus on the breastfeeding. Breastfeeding facilitates bonding between mother and baby. So once you will breastfeed your baby, or you will make a touch between you and baby, that will make a good bond, and you will get a good secretion as well. There is accepted extra closeness that breastfeeding mothers experience, that is both hormonal and emotional in nature. So breastfeeding nutrition is a complete nutrition. For that, you don't need to give anything extra, and you don't need to think whether the baby is getting proper nutrition or not. Rather, you just need to focus on breastfeeding for first 6 months to give each and every nutrition which is present and which is the requirement, and which will change according to the baby's needs and requirement, according the baby's age. So breastfeeding is really very important. And now we are discussing about the weaning diet. So as breastfeed, we have discussed about the breastfeeding. So we have make a base for a healthy eating habit. Now it's very important to balance with the weaning also, because whatever diet we are starting with, that will make a good impact or a bad impact later on in this stage, depend on the eating habits. So weaning diet is a process by which babies who were fully reliant on milk, mother's milk, are introduced to the solid foods. Weaning diet recommends to start from the 6 months. That is completing of 6 months. So after that, you can start with weaning diet. At this stage, begin to need extra nutrients. So from after completing 6 months, just breastfeeding nutrition will not be sufficient for your baby. So that's why the extra nutrition is needed. For those reasons, we need to start with the home food or the weaning diet to get proper nutrition. uh, at this small amount of solid foods can be introduced or can be provided to balance with the baby's additional nutrient requirements. So in the rare of the cases, babies to be ready for solid food before 6 months, but generally it should be recommended after 6 months only. So best time to start with the weaning diet along with the breastfeeding is 6 months onwards. So there are two type of weaning approaches which we are go for. One is traditional method, which we are doing since very long, and other one is baby led feeding, led weaning. So what the difference between the two? Let's see that. So baby led weaning is that we are giving a solid food stuff or encouraging the babies to self feed from the start, from the 6 months onwards. So we are putting a food in front of the baby, maybe in the pureed form or in a finger form or maybe in the solid food, and we are letting the baby to eat it by his or her comfort level. So we are making the baby self feed from the very first day. uh, at this stage we can allow the solid food as well, because baby will play, will just lick the food or not eat properly, not maybe not eat all the food, but baby is taking nutrition from these foods. Next one is traditional method. This is very common method which we are doing since very long. So, in this approach, you feed your baby and gradually introduce it to more solid food. So, in this case, we will begin to liquid first, like we will start with the coconut water or some fruit squeezed juices or boiled vegetables with in the soup in the clear soup form. So in the liquids we can start with first, then gradually as per the baby's acceptance we can go to smooth fruits purees, food purees like mashed fruits or mashed cooked and mashed vegetables or cooked and mashed cereals can be introduced. Then we can shift to the mashed, and then we can go for the chopped ones. So gradually we are introducing as per the baby's acceptance and tolerance. And finally we can go for small bites and finger food. So it will take somewhere around 6 to 12 months to go to this process, and this is a traditional way. So we are feeding, as a mother or as a family member, we are feeding to the baby is not eating by herself or himself. So, before starting the weaning diet, first taste is very, very important. So, what exactly first taste is? So, first tastes are important for developing good eating habits and exposing your infant to a wide variety of flavors. When introducing new foods, remember that the amount eaten is less important than the number of food tried. So, never ever focus that how much your baby have taken. So it's okay if your baby have consumed in very little amount, or maybe your baby have taken in a sufficient amount. That's okay. But we'll more focus on the variety of food when it comes to the first taste or weaning diet, to focus to make a good healthy eating habit rather than just pushing them and forcing them to eat. When to introducing new foods, remember one thing, that the amount eaten less is important, but number of food variety should be tried. So try to more make this a positive approach rather than making it a forceful or as a punishment experience for your baby, by allowing them to play with food, to touch it, to taste new food. Maybe if your baby will make some mess, that's really fine. Just don't be conscious about those things. Rather, just go with the flow, and to make the baby eating habits will be interesting rather than pushing them and punishing them. So, what first food you can include in a traditional method? As we have discussed, you can start with liquids first. So, in the liquids, you can introduce coconut water, fruit squeeze juices. You can include soups. You can include other liquids like in the form of curd with water, like buttermilk or lassi. You can go for these liquids gradually. So start, and along with that, you can even start with a sips of water in between the meals. So you can include the water as well, so that that will make a good habit of consuming water as well. Then once the baby is, you feel that is comfortable to accepting the liquids, then gradually you can shift to the soft fruits or soft other food, like your mashed banana is there, mango, mashed pulpy fruits can be included in the mashed form or in the pureed form. Same way that pulpy vegetables can be included in the cooked and mashed form. Like you can give a cooked carrots in the mashed form. You can give peas boiled and mashed one. You can include potato, pumpkin. You can include squashes. You can include sweet potato. So these all comes in the soft cooked vegetables and soft fruits which you can include. So cooked apple you can include, cooked peaches you can include in the pureed and mashed form, other than the soft pulpy fruit. There are some cereals as well which you can gradually introduce, like grinded, cooked and grinded broken wheat, dalia, or maybe rice you can include, or maybe quinoa, oats you can include, semolina you can include. So these are all soft fruits which you can start with after starting the liquid. So new foods can be introduced every after every third to fourth day. So make sure if you are introduce one new food today, so you need to try for 3 to 4 days to go for another one new food. So suppose if you tried potato today, Make sure you will try this potato for 3 to 4 days, not in every meal, but every day, so that after 4 days you can start and introduce one more dish along with the potatoes, so that you will able to understand whether your baby is not facing any allergies or any problem with one particular food, rather than starting everything at the same time. Now, once the baby is comfortable with one food, you have seen that baby is comfortable with one cereal, and baby is also comfortable with the fruits. So you can give the combination of foods as well. You can introduce next level to the combination of meals, like you can combine your semolina with fruits instead of using sugar. So natural fruit is better option to introduce. Make a porridge, semolina porridge. In that, you can add fruit instead of adding sugar. So you can start combining the means to introduce one or other dish in your baby's day-to-day life, and that will give you the different options also, different variety also, rather than pushing one food stuff to make your baby eat. uh, Also start offering sips of water as we have discussed. So make sure that water should be introduced or offered in between the meals to balance with the baby's water intake used to it, right? So once you have tried liquids and so once the baby is comfortable with the liquids and the baby is also comfortable with the pureed and solid food stuff, then you can introduce the finger food. Once the baby is comfortable with the puree diet, we can go further with the solid or the finger food stuff. So, around from 8 to 9 months, baby will be comfortable to consume the solid food stuff. So, you can start focusing on. So once you are comfortable and you know that the baby is not choking and baby is not puking with the pureed diet or the soft diet, then you can introduce the solid diet as well. This could be start around 8 to 9 months. Till then, baby will be comfortable with the pureed and the soft diet. So now in the 8 and 9 months, baby are able to consume 3 meals per day. So as we are consuming 3 major meals per day, you can fix the same way with your baby as well. Along with the some small meals, there is no harm in that. So start giving some solid foods like a bite of. So a bite of maybe wheat chapati you can give, or maybe you can start giving some finger food like French fries is there. Don't make a potato fries. Rather, you can go for carrot fries, and you don't need to fry it. You just need to grill it, and it will become a fries. You can also include sweet potato instead of using just potato, so that baby later on habit should not go wrong with these high carb food stuff. Make sure to offer different texture and watch for the sign that your baby is full. So if your baby is saying he doesn't and she doesn't want to eat more, don't push them. Just listen to them. Rather, you if you feel that they have eaten very less, you can try after sometimes to balance with the baby's nutrition. You can begin including full fat dairy products. So, what we can include in the solid food stuff, let's see that. So, we can start with the yogurt. Along with that, you can start with coated cheese. These are the good options because these contain good amount of calcium and protein. Grains and cereals you can include like wheat, barley, millets. You can include pulses. Now you can start from the 9 8 9 months. You can start with the whole pulses as well, like green gram dal, black gram dal, and other full whole pulses you can include. Finger foods can be included like breadsticks are there, cooked pasta is there, as well as soft fruits and soft cooked vegetables also. Now you don't need to puree it. You can try as it is from the 8 9 months. Nuts and seeds. ensure that it should be finely chopped or finely grounded, because some baby might not able to chew at this month. So you can start with powder form or in a grinded form, then baby will start accepting gradually. After 9 to 11 months, many babies can manage more than 3 meals, so they can manage consuming 3 meals. And at that time you can try with the good source of protein, carbs, and fiber and fats. So try to include those things which we are including, but in the softer form, not in the hard form. Might be your baby is not able to chew it properly, so make sure that it should not be totally in the harder form. And at the 1 year of age, baby, most of the baby can eat what we are eating, what the rest other family members are eating, and they can also join the family meals. Whenever you are eating, try to make them sit and eat at the same time, so they will enjoy the meals what we are eating. At this stage, many babies may able to balance with more than 3 meals, so they might take three major meals plus 3 to 4 snacks meals as well. So you can introduce all these things from the 1 year onwards. Remember, each baby is different from each other. So don't push your baby for anything. May eat more at times and may not eat much at times. So don't push them. Rather, keep focusing and make variation in the diet to balance with the baby's nutrition and accepting or acceptance of the food. That is really very important. That how much they are easily consuming it, but don't push them. Might be if they have eaten less at times, you feel that, so after sometimes you can try with different variety rather than trying the same thing. So there are few tips which you can make sure which you can take home for successful weaning. Certain practice can ease the weaning process. So there are few points. For firstly, babies naturally prefer sweeter taste. So make sure that first food should not be introduced as fruits because it are naturally sweet. In that case, baby might be not accept the vegetables easily. So make sure that you should introduce vegetable first rather than introducing the fruits first, and limit the chances that your body will reject that baby body will reject vegetables. Offer plenty of variety. So as we have already discussed, just don't stick to few options only, which might be baby get bored and not able to eat much. So make sure that you should include more of varieties in the baby's food. Try to avoid giving the same food repeatedly. If your baby doesn't like certain food, keep introducing it by different variation. Make sure if the baby doesn't like milk, don't include in a milk form, make it in a variation, maybe in some shakes form, or you can add flavor, natural flavor in the milk, so that baby will start consuming it, start accepting it. But at the same time, try to have the similar way, like plain milk in front of baby, other family members should consume, so that baby will start accepting those things rather than just pushing the baby every time for the food which she is not eating. Keep introducing it by different variation or try to modify it into until your child becomes familiar to particular food stuff. Do not force your baby to eat more than they want to, as they usually stop when they have had enough. So at the same time, you will not push your baby that you should finish it off. If the baby is full, don't push them. After sometimes you can try it again. Make meal times is a relaxed time and allow your baby to make a mess. This encourages baby to experiment more with food and create a positive association with eating. So make sure that you will focus that baby should enjoy the meal time rather than making it a punishment. Try to introduce your baby in family meal pattern, or babies are more likely to eat foods that they sees other around them eating. So that's why it's a good habit to start with. Lastly, keep an eye on your on the food allergy and choking while trying initiating weaning diet. So while you are trying a new foods, make sure that you will keep a check on choking or allergies if you will see, and you can discuss with your consultant about it. So this will help you in good weaning practice, and baby will start accepting the natural ways and natural things and natural food, and it will be easy for a baby to introduce with natural products rather than the artificial things, and it will make a good eating habit. So that's it for today's session. So if you have any queries, any question, you can meet me at Apollo Cradle Motinagar. We will really will happy to help you regarding the baby eating habits rather than making a punishment for them. Thank you. Okay, so we are available at Apollo Cradle Motinagar to help you as we are celebrating the nutritional week. So you can come and take the advantage of nutritional month. Sorry, not nutritional week. We are celebrating nutritional month. So if you are having any queries and you need any help regarding the baby weaning and breastfeeding nutrition, you can most welcome over here. We are really helping. Will be happy to help you over here. So we are closing this session over here. Thank you.